It was a humid St. Louis afternoon, and my hand reached up, placed one of my many baseball caps on my head, and mock pulled up the strap across my forehead and hairline. The bill was all but touching my back, and I wore a loose t-shirt with skater shorts, and under the beating sun, I wiped the sweat beads just above my eyes. Both boys had taken off their shirts, giving their bodies a chance to breathe in this heat, so I began to follow suit and pull my tee off when their grandmother shrieks at me to stop. I left the heat dismayed from my much cooler house, and inside I asked my mom why the boys get to go shirtless. My mom looks at me and explains that the girls have breasts. So I look down to my chest. Not even 7 years old, so still definitely flat-chested and confused. I went to bed that night and looked out my window to the stars and wished upon every single one of them to be a boy when I grew up. As if life were in a movie fast forward, life sped up, separating the boys from the girls, and girls' clothing appeared increasingly bejeweled and dazzled, and my hands and eyes were equally repelled and confused by the shininess and apparent lack of functionality supporting my growing uncomfortability. And meanwhile, in schools, my lack of femininity stood out more and more. Girls in the middle school locker room stared at me more and more, and I began to feel smaller and smaller inside as puberty made my chest grow more and more. And suddenly, no matter the shirt that I wore, you could tell me apart from the street boys. And catching those football spikes suddenly held a new pain, and never more awkward in my skin than my body becoming something that I could not function in. Everything around me told me to embrace the pink, the clinging, the put me on the cell block and take in each of my new curves. Savor this female body here for your enjoyment. My comfort zone? So far behind, I couldn't even see it anymore. Uncomfortability becoming my new understanding of normal, and each look into the mirror, meeting my own deep brown eyes and not recognizing anything else about me. I was picking clothing that fitted others' rules, forgetting I could even have a say. Then I fell in love. To a beautiful, confident young woman, so comfortable in her own skin that she looked at me with such a loving intensity. As she saw through all this fat and skin, my increasingly faux make-no-statement performance. And her gaze lit something inside of me, making me shine from this fire within me, bringing this playful smirk to tease her from my lips. And as she left me in the dust of fading memories, I looked once again into the mirror, determined not to fall backwards into the old patterns of low confidence and to lose myself again. So I wrapped my fingers around my long hair, pulled it up in the mirror. I grabbed the scissors from my desk and opened and closed the pair of blades. Snip, snip, snip. Below, worn tennis shoes now covered in long clumps of dark brown hair, and hesitantly, my eyes meet themselves in the mirror, and a shudder ripped from my shoulders to my toes as I saw myself in the mirror for the first time. "Hello, Win," I say, cheekily extending a hand to my reflective self. "Nice to meet you, sir." And a smirk crossed my lips, the same one that she always brought out to play. See, it took just a few short months, and I looked quite different. My clothing had changed, my name had changed, and my personality changed, some claimed. And my family was split in their acceptance and reception of this evolving me. But today, I look into the mirror, and my eyes look happily mischievous, closer. I can breathe myself each morning as I see more and more of myself as I place piece by piece of my suit outfit together before the mirror. My breath unconsciously held, but the last button is buttoned. And like a magical snap of fingers, fairy dust, in the mirror, I'm staring at myself for once, deep brown eyes glassy in my reflection, and I see what my lost love saw in her intensity. The beauty in finally accepting the him inside of me.